You're listening to Tim Barron Mornings on Lansing's greatest hits, 92.9 WLMI Grand Ledge, Lansing.
Coming up, it's How to Halloween and Makers Week. These are things you might have been hearing about separately. They're kind of together in proximity to each other, and so we talk about them sort of arm in arm. Makers Week and How to Halloween. Please welcome Jerry, I had it right off the air, Jadlowski. Did I get that right?
That was it.
Jerry Jadlowski from Robot Pumpkin. I love that name, dude.
Thank you, sir.
Sounds like it should be a movie company, right?
That works for me.
Robot Pumpkin.
Yeah.
And Gus Pine is here from Leptha. Good morning, Gus.
Good morning.
Long time no see.
It's been, what, a week?
Yeah, about a week. You got to talk to the microphone, though, dude. Otherwise, I can't hear you.
Got it.
So Gus is with Leptha, and they're going to be deeply involved with the How to Halloween piece of things. So are you, Jerry. Can you tell us a story about How to Halloween, what all's going on with that?
Well, what it is, it's an event that celebrates the best in creativity and do-it-yourself aspects of the holiday in a family-friendly, fun environment. So it's at Lansing Center, there's going to be an exhibit hall full of, everything handmade, tons of exhibits and attractions from epic displays and just fun stuff like we're going to have live music, a couple bands playing, and then we've got vendors, 20 different vendors of artists and makers, crafters, builders, bakers. Everything. I guess the whole point of it is to inspire people to go out and build something in your garage, whether it's a small prop or making your costume or putting something cool up in your front yard. Just get in your garage and build it.
So the idea is sort of like, here's how you Halloween.
Exactly.
How to
That's
Halloween.
It.
It's like, this is how you Halloween. You Halloween like this.
That's right.
And then you might want to attend How to Halloween.
Halloween as a verb.
How to Halloween.
Let's Halloween the heck out of this.
Right. Now that I can dig. The whole makers thing has me a bit befuddled. I got to admit. And most people my age are like, what? Makers? It's like, we're all makers.
Yeah.
We are? Well, yes, we are. If we sit down and make anything at all, then we've made it. Now we're a maker. It seems confusing to me that everyone's celebrating, the celebration of things being made. I mean, I'm glad. I thought that's what the Manufacturers Association was for. But the point is that as individuals, smaller groups or just individual people, we can be makers as well. And that's part of what's going on with the Makers Week beginning next week. Anyone want to help me with how these things are sort of put together?
So, it's all about the maker movement is what they call it. And has started within the last decade or so. And it's taken advantage of the technology that makes it easier to build these things on your own that wasn't available to the average Joe just a few years ago, for example.
Oh, I like that. 3D printers
3D
and things
printing
like that.
is a big one with that. You got computer-controlled CNC machines, things like that make it possible for all that to happen. So,
now I get a little bit of a better understanding.
Yeah.
We are makers, not because, of course, we've all been making things since time began, as we mentioned, off the air. The caveman was a maker.
Yeah, you use a tool.
We're all makers.
That's right.
But we can have more access because of technology to make more sophisticated things than you might think you could. Like a 3D printer. There's 3D printers for $500-600 now.
Exactly.
Or a catapult. Actually, they were testing a catapult in one of our exhibit halls last week.
Right.
And these are made because they understand the technology. These were made by folks from Impression 5, I think, and they're flinging bags of sand through our exhibit hall, which typically we host trade shows.
Right.
And so that's just one example of
you can make anything.
Yeah.
Right.
Pretty much.
Right.
I mean, I saw a guy printed a car. I was watching that on the news. He printed the whole damned car, dropped a motor in it, and off they went. I mean, that's pretty cool. And it's carbon fiber, sort of a fiber,
scary.
And it works.
It's going to get to that point. If your kid wants a toy, why go out and buy the action figure? Just print it yourself and paint it up.
And there you go.
Yeah.
And of course, it kind of goes back to sewing, if you think about it, because you used to be able to see a dress, and instead of buying that dress, you could go buy the pattern. And then you would take the pattern and you would go make the dress. If you have the raw ingredients, you can make the dress. Maybe they were some of the original makers in this spirit. Because if you have the right printer, you'll probably be able to download your G.I. Joe from Hasbro, pay them, and have your printer make it, paint it and all, and have it drop out in your hand. Now that's interesting.
That's pretty cool.
Kind of takes out the store as the middleman too, which I'm sure they would love. Takes we'll never have to leave the house before it's all over. We'll be printing wives and husbands before it's over, and maybe some money.
Yeah.
All right, so I get it.
You know, a big aspect of it is the sharing of information, too. That's what makes it possible, in that, you know, in the old days, you used to, you know, if you had an idea to make something, you'd kind of keep it close to the heart, and you don't want to, you know, anyone to infringe on it. Now you build on that. It's an open source community that, hey, I did this, and then make it better and that kind of thing. And that's what makes it grow exponentially.
Well, that's swell and all, and a lot of people can sit around and solemnly swap their ideas, but who the hell makes money?
That's the good part. I think everyone benefits from that, because it gets you a chance to, you know, if you're an inventor and you want to make something, this is your chance to do it. So it wasn't possible before. And if you've got the idea, then at some point, at least it's more feasible. And heck, you can even become your own little mini manufacturing facility right on your desktop.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Until a dude from China steals it and makes it cheaper.
Right.
So I think makers have another phase coming. And that's when everyone isn't maybe as open as they are right now. But I like the idea. I like the spirit of it.
Yeah.
But, you know, someone's got to make money. And for now, that's swell. But I'll be curious to see makers' movement in another 10 years. See what happens.
I think these will become hireable people. You know, I think that, you know, one
True.
thing we're doing is getting, especially with this How To Halloween, we're getting people off the couch. We're getting kids off the couch, and looking at what they can do if they have a tool shop, or very easily too, by the way. And you can download instructions off the internet.
Well, yeah.
And you know, especially in a town like ours, a GM town, these kids become very hireable as they get older, too.
And that's what we need, are people that are savvy and have a clue, more of a world citizen type. And there's no doubt that's the future employee. I mean, you know, there's only so many jobs pumping gas available, folks, just a few. I get it. So that's sort of the Makers Week and a touch of the Halloween, How To Halloween. When does How To Halloween occur?
It happens Saturday, October 11th at the Lansing Center, Exhibit Hall C, and it all kicks off at noon till 8 o'clock. It actually starts with the 5th annual Downtown Lansing Zombie Walk is going to kick off the day, which is always a sight
good way to start
see.
a day, yeah.
Yeah. So that's going to be a good way to kick things off.
Where do the zombies start on Saturday? The what?
It is Saturday, October 11th.
Saturday, October 11th. Zombies start walking.
They start at the Lansing Center.
Good.
We're all the horde is gonna congregate there, and
horde of mindless zombies.
And the Walking Dead will leave from there and head down
to the Capitol, where they'll occupy their offices. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's that's gonna what a great way to get things going, and we're happy to be working with them. And then then the day goes from there. So you know, with a cool thing also happening is this is going to be one of the largest gatherings of Star Wars characters that the Lansing area has ever seen. We've got groups like that. The Great Lakes Garrison are bringing they're the bad guys. The stormtroopers are all coming, along with the Great Lakes Base, the good guys. So an army of them with the R2 Builders Club. Now those guys, talk about makers who put together these movie quality R2-D2s and spending hundreds of hours on that. I mean, that's going to be a sight to see.
It's going to be a big day for geekdom.
Nirvana.
The nerds are taking over.
Nirvana and Geekdom Plus, which is great.
Exactly.
I love nerds and geeks.
Right.
This is going to be the best. Zombie Walk, Makers Week, How To Halloween, all coming together. Halloween, How To Halloween itself, though, specifically on one day, and that day is?
Saturday, October 11th, noon.
And we can go from, what time's the Zombie Walk? Noon?
That is also kicks off at noon.
Okay, so noon that day, get down to the Lansing Center and see what happens next.
Yeah, we have tickets online as well. They're already on sale. LansingCenter.com, just $5. entry charge for that. It's going to be
And,
quite an event.
and inside you'll see all kinds of things, some of which I can't even describe because I couldn't conceive it.
You know, the zombie walk is free, so
Right.
that doesn't cost anything. But yeah, then to get inside, Gus was talking about the Impression 5. They're bringing huge gravity-powered catapults. You know, they're doing a whole Ghostbusters theme, so that'll be cool to see. We've got some crazy guy who built mainly me, a full-size Batmobile is going to be there.
That's you that built that
me.
thing?
I did, yeah. And
That's cool.
Worth seeing, and we've got some interactive activities and you know, hands-on stuff. There's going to be a shoot 'em gallery, and talking about Lansing Maker Week. The big thing, the core of that is the Lansing Makers Network. They're going to have a huge display there
Inside the How to Halloween.
Exactly.
So we can learn more about what the hell makers are.
They're the core of it here in town. They're going to be starting out the Maker Week Monday in their shop, where they can they'll have things like they've got their giant life-size Operation game, where instead of tweezers you use kitchen tongs to get the parts out. You've got
Awesome.
yeah, that's exactly
Can't you see
it.
that nose going?
That's exactly it.
I hope it shocks the participant if they hit the side instead of just the nose lighting up.
Yeah, they've
Wouldn't
got-
that be great?
Yes.
That'd be awesome.
And they've got
I'm
they-
sold. I
yeah,
like
that,
this.
that in itself, you know, and then
Back to the Batmobile. Wait a minute.
Okay.
Does it
Okay.
run?
It doesn't run. It looks cool.
It sits
though.
there, looks great.
Yeah, that was one of the things that kind of got things started. Was I built that in my driveway, and along with a neighbor of mine,
Yeah.
we would have a friendly competition each year of you know, outdoing each other. We'd you know, with these displays, to the point that it got so big we'd have hundreds of people coming. The cars were just blocking the roads and everything like that.
Big Halloween in your neighborhood.
Yeah, it was just an amusement park in itself, just for one night. And,
Right.
and, you know, it got to the point that if we didn't do something more with it, we'd start looking a little nuts, you know. So this was a good way to bring the fun to the masses.
How to Halloween is going to tell people, you know, how to just really go for the gusto.
You know, and you can be inspired by something little if you want to make something small, but yeah, if you want to build something epic, it's just a lot of cool things to see.
And there was a game on a garage door. Tell me about that.
There was so that was one of the things. I was more of the movie kind of displays. My neighbor did his name is Steve Sneed. He's also my business partner in Robot Pumpkin LLC and How to Halloween founder. He would make these interactive games and displays, almost like a Disney type attraction, where people would come in and he'd use Wii remotes. The technology's behind me. The guy's a computer genius and could make these things where he'd project targets onto his garage door, and kids would come and you know, they'd, instead of going around getting candy, they'd stop and stay for a while and do that experience of shooting, whether it's ghosts or you know, cowboys or something like that.
Right,
That's what he up on the, you know, big display of that, or pirate ships.
You guys never get egged, I'll bet, ever, because you got the coolest houses.
Yeah, they love it.
No TPing at your place.
It was fun.
Dude's got a Batmobile out
Get
there.
zapped.
I mean, is this old school Batmobile with Adam West, or is this new?
You know what? It's a little
Tumbler
bit,
Batmobile.
It's a tumbler, but I've got the old school bat signal up, so
Right.
it's an ode to that. You know,
Awesome.
from the people who grew up in the '60s show like me, and so I tried to touch on a little something for everyone. So
I like that. I'm almost embarrassed to know what the Tumbler is. Now, Gus, can people sponsor this event? I mean, we still got enough time for a sponsorship, or
We do.
we do?
We do. They can email me directly, gus@lepfa.com.
Okay, how do you spell LEPFA?
LEPFA.
I'm feigning not knowing how to spell LEPFA.
I know. You're helping.
But for people, you know, that don't understand.
Yeah, gus@lepfa, LEPFA.com.
Okay, gus@lepfa.com. Because that's important. I mean, sponsorships are important. And if you can get some sponsorships, this is more likely to come back year after year.
We're looking to do it annually. I think
Yeah.
this is really going to blow up, especially if Makers Week, you know, continues each year.
And those makers, of course, they're based at the Temple Club now, right?
that's the I think
That's the maker space, base,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, it's
appropriately.
Well, yeah. It's still a little odd for an old guy like me to get my mind around Makers Week. and what makers are, but I'm getting there. And I think probably one of the reasons it's hard to get my mind around it is because the makers themselves don't really know what it's defined as yet. It's a making of itself as much as it is anything
How great
else.
is that, to be on the ground floor of something
right.
big?
It's brand new, yet it's old, but it's new. And the ability of the average person, the biggest thing I learned today is it's the ability of the average person to reach out and grab newest technology for free or for cheap and improve what they can, quote unquote, make. Because the makers have been around. I mean, Matchbox Derby when I was a kid, Soapbox Derby.
Oh, Pinewood Derby.
Derby.
Yeah, that's it.
Those are all maker examples. Those are examples of makers. All that stuff has been around. If you ever sat down in your garage and wanted to do something and make something just because you wanted to be a hobbyist, that's makers.
Sure.
It's the spirit of the whole thing.
Up off the couch. These days, you can just be sitting there, with a remote in your hand. That's not a maker.
No, I mean, you can learn. I mean, there's a lot of good TV. That's part of the problem. There's a lot of really good TV.
Exactly.
But I'm getting it. I think I'm warming up to it. This is good. I'm not alone in the clueless department of what makers are all about, so I'm going to try to help everybody understand. And if I can figure it out, anybody can figure it out. How to Halloween, again, the date, please.
Saturday, October 11th.
If you learn nothing else, you want to go down there. If you're a business, you might want to consider being a sponsor. But as a person, show up, zombie walks free at noon, then it's $5 to get in and see what's going on inside the Lansing Center.
Family friendly. It's going to be fun. A little something for everyone.
And we learn more about Makers Week coming up next week. Is that it, Amy? We have more guests coming?
Yes, on Monday, and then I believe the 10th is that Friday.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, so good. We got more about Makers Week on the show coming up. But I want to thank you, Jerry, for being on the show today. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Tim.
You bet, Tim.
Take care, you guys. By the way, what does Robot Pumpkin do?
This is it. This event.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute.
Ground floor.
So,
Did you win the lottery, or what else do you do?
well, I also own Jam and DJs. I mean, that's a good thing.
There you go.
So
all right,
I happen
that's
to have
better.
a garage full of
Yeah,
stuff to bring.
that's
So,
right. You got plenty of stuff that makes
got a
noise.
warehouse. It's right. We've
Yeah.
got the sound and lighting.
I've only
covered.
bumped into you about 100 times over the years. You guys, you always do events at the U Club. I know your guys work there all the time.
Yeah, we love being out
They
there.
do a good job out there. All
Thank
right,
you,
well,
sir.
thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you,
Take
Tim.
care, and we'll be back.
You're listening to Tim Barron Mornings on Lansing's greatest hits, 92.9 WLMI Grand Ledge, Lansing.